When you approach the vehicle with the key, it has a proximity system, and when you get to a certain point, it'll start turning on lights. It'll sense that key, the front and rear lights will start pulsating. There also will be this Mustang here on the ground, illuminated from the side of the vehicle. When we hit the unlock button, basically the same thing. It'll give us that pulsation and the lights turn on. Unlike other vehicles, this one you can turn the headlight switch to the off position and it'll turn off all the exterior lights, and you can drive that way. Now I have the parking lights on, and it's basically these three white lights here, daytime running lights. I'm trying to brighten this down on the camera so you can see there's three separate lights right there. Those are the ones that pulsate when you approach the vehicle with the key, but they look really nice. They're functional, but they're also a accent light as well. And you'll notice there's a little light right in here. You see that little light right there? It kind of shines as well. It's kind of like shining light on the corner there a little bit. Not really like cornering lights, but it does have that little light right there. It's just a very subtle though. Then there's an amber side marker here on the front, a red side marker here on the back, and the tail lights are of course red. Kind of look a little orangey on camera, but they are a deep red, looking good. And the tag lights are now on as well. Turn signal here on the front basically takes those white lights and just turns them amber, and then it has like this little sequence right here. It's actual sequential lights. So this actually is, have three lights in a sequence. So this is one of the times I actually use that term. There's also a turn signal indicator here on the side mirror, amber in color. You can see it. It's not super bright, but you can see it from the front, the side, and the back. And back here, really bright lights for the turn signal. It's basically red. It's not amber, but it is red, and it has this, once again, a sequence of lights, or an animation in the direction that you're going. But man, it is really bright. Now these are also the tail lights and the brake lights. So the brake lights are shared in this spot, and then there's a third brake light at the top of the glass, and the reverse lights are at the very bottom of the vehicle. White LED reverse lights. Now let's switch to the low beams. So the low beams are bright LEDs here. And you can see it's a projector system. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, it's a multi-projector system. So it has three different projectors here, and they're actually all illuminated right now. But you can see it's the outer one that's mostly illuminated. Let's take a look at the cutoff here. Step back a little ways. And so the cutoff, I can look, just standing up, I can look directly at the headlights, not blinding me at all. When I dip down here, it is about 2.5 feet off the ground. Yep, that's about where the cutoff is. So now let's switch to the high beams. And the high beams will be the same projectors that we saw illuminated before. Now it's just the inner portion is brighter, so they're all basically similar brightness now. Maybe the inner part is a little bit brighter. Let's take a look at it here. Yeah, seems like the right, or the driver's side headlight is a little bit different than the passenger side. Now it could just be, yeah, it's probably just my position I have my camera. Yep, that's what it is. The trunk light or cargo light is a single light here, and it's not quite in the middle, but it's right in this area right here, and it's fairly bright, I guess. But you can see where a single light causes problems sometimes, because you can see there's shadows when you put stuff in here. But I guess it's not too bad. I've seen worse. Having it in the middle, maybe even two lights, one on each side, with this level of brightness would be better. But I guess it's, mediocre. So this horse shining on the ground doesn't really serve as a puddle light or an approach light. It's basically just an accent, just something to look cool, but it is kind of neat. The inside of the door here, it does have a little ambient light right in here, and you can customize the color in the vehicle. And then there's the Mustang illuminated sill plate, floorboard illumination. That's part of the customizable colors. Now the back seat, you can see there's no light back there, so absolutely no illumination whatsoever. But this light here, the lights here in the front are coming from the center, so they illuminated the center area. Okay, so I got the door open, interior lights on here. Let's go ahead and shut the door. Interior lights fade away. And you'll notice that this light right here and the floorboard is orange, kind of like an orange color. I actually have it set to yellow and pink, so like really high contrast colors here, so we can see the difference. Now they're accurately represented on the screen, but here for some reason it's like an orange. So we'll play around with the different colors to see what they look like. So basically, you can see the backlit buttons here on the steering wheel are fine. Then there's the headlight switch here. And the screens look good at night, very good. And you have minimal buttons down here. There is USB ports that are illuminated, but there's a little pad right in here that's completely dark. Cup holders are dark. The shifter is actually dark, pretty interesting. Let me turn on the interior light here just for a second so you can see what I'm talking about. This whole compartment here is dark, shifter is dark, cup holders are dark. Now this little compartment here does have a light in it, which is pretty cool. But the glove compartment does not have a light. So let's turn on the interior light. Yeah, we can see in there a little bit with the interior light, but man, I'm surprised. Ford usually is pretty good about lighting, and I'm not sure why they skipped that out. It does have an auto dim rearview mirror, and these lights up here are tap lights. You just tap directly on the lens to turn them on. There is a backlit illuminated button to turn on all the interior lights, have them all off even when you open the door, or have them turn on when you open the door in a center position there. The visors have a mirror with lights there, not too bad. They're softer lights, which makes sense if you're shining in the driver's face, basically. Okay, so let's put it in reverse. You see the camera is really good. You can see it. Not only can you see good as far as the brightness level, but the clarity, even at nighttime, is great. Really good camera system Ford has. And it fills up the screen. And then you have the parking sensors represented there visually. Looks really good. Have the active guidelines. So yeah, that camera system is good. Under my Mustang, under my color, this is where you can actually adjust the colors here. So the screen displays. So the display, I had it yellow and pink, but the reason why it wasn't showing on the rest of the colors here is because there's a second option for the ambient. So let's change that to a blue. So now the floorboard and the doors there will be a blue. So I like the way you can kind of customize separately the ambient lights as far as the floorboard and stuff. There's only the floorboard and handles really, is all I'm seeing. That's blue. And then you can go over here to displays, and then you can choose whatever you want. We'll keep it pink and, keep pink and yellow. Those are like complete contrast colors. And then you can see here on the screen, you have some pink, some yellow, primary and secondary. So that's pretty neat. I like the blue floorboard. That looks pretty good. That's bright enough. Let's look at the different cluster themes. So they're wildly different. So some of them might be better at nighttime. So let's go to the normal, sport. Either one would work. Track has this large bar at the top, but it's not overly bright or anything. And then there's a comm screen here. This might be good for nighttime, depending on what you're doing. I I like that track. That looks pretty good. So either one, any one of these would be fine at night. Some different displays will have like some displays that are brighter and stuff, and it doesn't work for me at nighttime. This one seems like all of them would work. We can adjust the brightness anyway. So let's go ahead and do that. Go ahead and adjust the brightness down, and we'll try to adjust it up. So that's the different range there. And there's the nighttime view of the navigation map. It works well, and I can see pretty good. Zoom in and out. So as you're driving, the clarity of the screen and everything works well. I mean, it really helps out at nighttime, that clarity. So the low beams, they have a little bit of a jaggedness to them, and there's a shadow that's supposed to line up with the oncoming lane. It seems like it is lining up pretty good. So there's quite a bit of a dip there on that oncoming lane right there. So that's intentional. It's not like a problem or anything. Alright, so this road right here is a little bit dark. So there's the low beams, and then there's the high beams. Yeah, the high beams are pretty good. I think the high beams are a little bit more impressive than the low beams in this particular case. But yeah, even the low beams are fine. I mean, you can see on the sides of the road and everything, and there's a decent distance, and the brightness is okay. It's not like overly like impressive, the brightness, but that high beam is really good. The brightness really does help out on the high beams. I can see the trees in the distance. There's no significant patchiness on the road. And yeah, it seems like the distance is good. I mean, it doesn't fade out too much. Yeah, I think the high beams are really good. Low beams are, of course, that huge shadow in the middle kind of makes it look a little bit less impressive, but the high beams really they make all the lights come to life because they have 3 projectors on each side. They do a good job of overlapping, illuminating the sides of the road and the road in front of us. So yeah, it's a pretty impressive system, especially considering the height of the vehicle, and that makes a little bit of a difference. Like the F-150 is a little bit higher up, so it's able to project a lot of light down the road. This one's fine. I mean, with 3 little projectors on each side, do a really good job.